One of the major ones, it's called Quaker, which means that it's sort of a bean that didn't ripen properly. And they're also called floaters because when you're processing green coffee at origin, you use water. And the denser coffee sinks to the bottom, and the lighter coffee, these floaters or these Quakers, come up to the top. So, it's not like we don't have any in our coffee. We have very few. So once in a while, if you see this really oddly lighter colored bean in a bunch of darker colored coffee, that's going to be a Quaker. It's one that snuck through. There are other ones. There's bug damage, which is just like a gnarly bean. There was a problem at origin for a while with a beetle. It's called broca in Spanish, but the name in English is almost a tongue twister. It's a berry beetle borer. Beetleberry borer? It bores in. It's a beetle that bores into the berry. If you get some coffee and you see all these little pinholes in the coffee, that's what happened. It was a big problem some years back, but it's not as serious now. And there's a reason for it. The growers have changed the way they do things, particularly in Colombia. In Colombia, they're known for 2 harvests. And there's a bigger harvest at the end of the year, and then April, May, there's a lesser harvest, and that's called the mitaca. And what was happening there was because of the way that those 2 harvests were managed, in between there'd be a lot of this coffee ripening and then falling on the ground, and it was a really great environment for these beetles. So a lot of them are not doing the mitaca, or they've managed it in some other way. And it's interesting because, really all of our coffee is organic. We've got the Subtle Earth organic coffee, which is certified organic, but the rest of our stuff is organic too. And mostly because they come from small farms, from small farmers that don't use chemical inputs, because they don't have to. They manage their issues naturally. And in the case of the broca, they do these bug traps, and literally it's like a soda bottle that is a hole is cut in it, and there's like water on the bottom and sugar, and that attracts the broca into there, and they get in the water and they can't get out. There's another one that comes to mind. It's called a stinker. So, one of my favorites. Another defect in coffee is full black or full sour. So that's when they pick the coffee either underripe or overripe. And the bean is actually fermenting inside of the cherry, and you're going to get a vinegar taste, like an alcohol taste. So that's no good. So you don't want that. Another one is, they call it shells in English, but in Spanish it's caracole, which is, like a seashell. Sometimes they call it an elephant ear. And basically it's a hollowed out bean. And that happens because of mutation. And it doesn't affect the flavor at all. It just doesn't look pretty. So those get screened out too. Another defect in coffee is stones and branches and foreign objects, right? And you get them, and you get pebbles sometimes. And I've been grinding and drinking our own coffee and doing road shows and demos for 15 years or more, and I have never gotten a stone in my coffee. But every once in a while, a customer will get one, and it will break their grinder, and it's a terrible thing, and we apologize for that, and we'll totally take care of you, so don't worry. But foreign objects in coffee, it's an agricultural product. So that's going to happen. And if you are buying low quality green coffee, which we don't, we only buy the best stuff, but we've heard a lot of stories. You can find bullets, you can find bats, somebody found a finger. I mean, it's all kinds of things go on in coffee. But again, we're dealing in a whole different industry. It's specialty grade coffee, and we only buy from farms that we personally vet. And those people are interested in quality like we are, so we don't run into that. Maybe a stone once in a while or a twig, but that's about it.